A love born in spotlight. It all started with chemistry. Not just on-screen chemistry, but the kind of spark that seems too real to be confined to fiction. When Suspicious Partner aired in 2017, viewers couldn't get enough of Wook and Nam Ji-hyun. Their banter, their stolen glances, their raw emotion. It felt like love. And maybe, just maybe, it was. Rumors swirled for years, as fans hoped and speculated. Were they dating? Were those lingering stares between takes just good acting or something more? For a long time, both actors remained silent, professional, diplomatic, and private. But behind the veil of secrecy, a story was unfolding. A real one. One that was filled with passion, jealousy, misunderstandings, and eventually, heartbreak. This is the story of Wook and Nam Ji-hyun, not the real-life couple, but the real-life lovers who tried, failed, and fell apart under the pressure of fame, personal demons, and a love that turned toxic. The silent beginning. While filming Suspicious Partner, sources close to the cast said it was impossible not to notice the electricity between them. Wook, known for his charismatic presence and playful energy, was often seen joking with Nam Ji-hyun between takes. Nam, more reserved but deeply intelligent and warm, found herself drawn to Wook's energy. Their connection didn't start with grand gestures. It started with quiet conversations after late-night shoots, coffee runs in the rain, and subtle physical closeness during group scenes that weren't scripted. Even the staff noticed. They had this energy, a crew member said. They looked like they were falling in love, and maybe they were. When the show wrapped, they stayed in touch. Fans noted their coordinated interviews, their supportive comments on each other's work, and Instagram posts that, if you squinted, seemed to be sending signals. But it wasn't until late 2020 that their relationship turned official, at least behind closed doors. Going public, sort of. In early 2021, Wook and Nam Ji-hyun began quietly dating. It wasn't public yet, but it was real. Close friends reported seeing them together at private dinners, short weekend trips to Jeju, and even at each other's apartments. They weren't hiding, but they weren't broadcasting it either. Why the secrecy? Both actors had careers that depended heavily on public perception. Wook was the romantic lead in dramas and action films. Nam Ji-hyun, the sweet, grounded heroine. A relationship could complicate their marketability, and in Korea's image-sensitive industry, it could mean the loss of endorsements or fans. Still, they were happy for a while. Cracks in the fairy tale. By late 2022, the honeymoon phase had ended. Reports from those close to the couple said arguments had become frequent. At the heart of it all was something universal. Insecurity. Wook, though known for his confident screen presence, struggled with jealousy. Nam Ji-hyun, now rising in her own right and attracting major roles, was often paired with male co-stars in romantic roles. Wook didn't like it. He would read scripts with her and pick apart the scenes, one insider shared. It was controlling, even if he thought he was being protective. Nam Ji-hyun, on the other hand, felt suffocated. She had always been independent, quiet, and thoughtful. Wook's energy, once charming, now felt overbearing. She wanted space, he wanted reassurance. She valued privacy, he craved intensity. Their differences began to show not just privately, but professionally. During the 2023 award season, fans noted how distant they looked at the same events. No photos together. No eye contact. No mentions of each other. And then came the incident. The public fallout. In April 2024, a video surfaced online showing Wook and Nam Ji-hyun having a heated argument outside a private cafe in Gangnam. Though the audio was muffled, body language said everything. Wook appeared frustrated, gesturing wildly, while Nam Ji-hyun stood silently, arms crossed, eyes tired. Fans were shocked. The video went viral. Within hours, hashtags like #JiChangWook, #NamJiHyun, #breakup began trending. Neither of them commented. Their agencies stayed silent. But silence, in the digital age, speaks louder than words. 2 weeks later, Nam Ji-hyun unfollowed Ji Chang-wook on Instagram. That was the unofficial confirmation. The breakup and the blame. When the breakup was finally confirmed by their agencies in June 2024, the statement was simple. Wook and Nam Ji-hyun have decided to part ways after a period of dating. They wish each other the best in their future endeavors. Behind those words, however, was a mess. Sources close to the couple said the breakup was not mutual. Wook had still wanted to work things out. Nam was done. She had grown tired of the emotional roller coaster, the constant fights, the jealousy, the insecurity masked as love. He didn't want her to grow beyond him, one friend confided. She felt like she was shrinking just to keep the peace. Meanwhile, Wook was said to be heartbroken and angry. Not just at the breakup, but at how public perception had started to turn. Comments accuse him of being toxic, possessive, immature. He denied it to his friends, saying he was just protective of what they had. But protectiveness, when paired with control, becomes a cage. Rebuilding themselves. After the breakup, Nam Ji-hyun threw herself into work. She signed on to a historical drama, took up hosting a youth mentorship program, and began writing a book about life as a young actress growing up in the spotlight. She glowed in interviews, calm, clear-eyed, confident. When asked about the breakup indirectly, she smiled and said, "Some relationships teach you love. Some teach you boundaries. I'm grateful for both." Wook, on the other hand, took a short hiatus. He canceled one fan meeting and delayed filming on a romantic comedy he had signed. He later returned with a more serious, grounded role in a psychological thriller, an unspoken but clear pivot away from the romantic lead persona he had long embodied. When questioned in a radio interview about his personal life, he said quietly, "Sometimes you learn the hard way that love isn't enough if you haven't learned to love yourself." What went wrong? The story of Wook and Nam Ji-hyun isn't just about two stars. It's a cautionary tale about how love can fall apart when people aren't aligned, emotionally, mentally, or in terms of life goals. Their relationship was real, but flawed. It wasn't built in the shadows, but it grew in them. They wanted each other, but they didn't know how to support each other through growth, stress, and change. Fame added pressure. Personal insecurities turned love into control. Silence became distance. They weren't bad people, just bad together. Conclusion: healing after the fire. Today, both Wook and Nam Ji-hyun are walking separate paths. They may never speak publicly about what truly happened between them, but the signs were there, in their work, in their choices, and in the silence that followed the breakup. Fans who once rooted for them have now shifted focus, hoping not for a reconciliation, but for healing, for growth, for happiness, even if it's apart. Because not every fairy tale ends in a wedding. Sometimes, the real strength lies in walking away from a love that no longer nurtures and learning to thrive on your own. And that, perhaps, is the most important ending of all.